Parks Committee for Wednesday, April 25th, 2018, 4:30 PM. For the record, in attendance, we have Alderman Weary, Alderman Nicholson, Alderman Johnson, and Alderman Burnett. So I'll take a motion now to approve the agenda as presented. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that passed unanimously.
Can we hear the motion again?
Sure. It was a motion by Burnett. Alderman Burnett. Seconded by Nicholson.
My computer is very slow right now. Chris, did you join?
Yep. Yep, I'm good. Yep, same.
All right. There you go.
How can we have this picture? Oh, this is the winning team. Did I say that? I'm so.
Yes, sure you are, yeah.
Okay, so who made the motion?
Motion was made by Alderman Burnett
Okay.
and seconded by Alderman Nicholson.
Okay.
Passed unanimously.
Oh, here we go. This weekend. Trophy right in.
Okay, you can go on.
We beat you up this week.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
And next, we take a motion to approval of the minutes from the last
Motion
meeting.
to approve the minutes.
Second.
So we had a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Burnett. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That passed unanimously to approval of the minutes from the last meeting dated April 11th, 2018.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. All right.
I think it probably was.
We're good.
All right, then the next thing we'll have to, at this time, we'll take nominations. We're into new business. We'll take nominations for Parks Chair.
I'd like to nominate Alderman Chris Weary. Does that require a motion? Second.
I'll say it.
I'll make that motion if it's in order.
On the floor, a motion to, for Alderman Chris Weary. Got a second?
Second?
Alderman Johnson.
You made the motion?
I don't think we need seconds for nominations.
So Alderman Burnett made the motion, and who seconded it?
I don't, do
I
we
don't
need
think you need a
seconds?
second for a nomination.
Okay.
It's not really a motion. No.
Okay.
Okay, well, I will make a motion then to approve the appointment of Alderman Chris Weary to the Parks Chair, for the Parks Chair Committee. Motion to approve.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in-
Okay.
All right, all right.
Good luck, Chris. You got 2 years.
What can we do to the park system? Privatize it?
I need more.
Outsource.
Outsource.
Okay, yeah.
They're ready. Be patient as they go through this.
Good.
Yep, so now we're doing vice chair.
I appreciate it, everybody. Do we have an election of the vice chair? Any nominations for vice chair?
I'll nominate Burnett.
Have a nomination for Alderman Burnett? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nope. All right, then those in favor of Alderman Burnett being vice chair? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And welcome aboard, Brian.
Thank you.
Dan has the toughest job.
Mhm.
How do you draw that straw? Okay.
Start over again.
We're good.
All right. Number 2, consideration with possible action on the approval to purchase a hill mower and attachments from Horse Distributing Company for $25,205. Hello, sir.
I'm Rick Jensen, I'm the purchasing manager. We purchased a hill mower, which is just a beefed up mower that can go up steep hills like at Triangle Park. Put this out for bid. We had, I believe it was 4 responses, and we recommending an award to Horse Distributing with attachments. The total amount is $25,204.95.
Any questions for Rick?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Johnson to approve. Under discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second item is also a mower.
Okay, we're good.
Item number 3 on your agenda is a second mower. We actually bid this in 2017, and I don't know if you got my notes, so I'm going to just repeat what was on my submittal as a purchasing report. The zero-turn riding mower was bid in 2017. The awarded vendor has agreed to maintain the 2017 price for this year's purchase. Since this bid was substantially below the other bidders, the department is requesting to piggyback off last year's bid. The department operates a number of Kubota mowers and has established an inventory of maintenance and repair parts to help reduce costs. I included a copy of the 2017 bid. We received 3 responses. Service Motor Company with a Kubota motor was nearly $3,000 less than the next lowest, and they're offering to maintain that price.
Any
Motion to
questions?
approve.
Motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Burnett. Discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Soon.
Just waiting for our go-ahead.
Hold on just one second.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just look at you till you look up. Informational presentation by staff on the Wildlife Sanctuary 4K addition to the Nature Center.
Yeah, so we, today we thought we'd share with you guys, as a lot of you know, but some might not know, and we're lucky to have Mike Reed from the Wildlife Sanctuary here to go through a short presentation, just as an awareness, informational. If you guys have any questions, we're lucky enough to have a Wildlife Sanctuary Friends group who is very passionate and have done a lot of work with the Wildlife Sanctuary and continue with this new 4K Learning and Conservation Center expansion. So you guys, he's going to go through a presentation, and then if you have any questions, enjoy.
Mike Reed, the Wildlife Sanctuary. Thank you for having me here tonight. As James said, just giving you an update on the expansion that had been approved in the past at the Wildlife Sanctuary. We're calling it our Oak Learning and Conservation Center. That's outdoor adventure for kids. And this slide just walks you through the mission of the Wildlife Sanctuary, which is really basically just threefold. It's basically our overall mission is to connect people to nature, and we do that through environmental education, passive recreation, which is our hiking trails and our 600 acres of urban wildlife refuge, and our environmental education programs. This Nature-Based 4K is one of our newest environmental education programs. The trifold I gave you sort of walks you through some of the rationale, and there's a donor form in there. For anyone $1,000 or over making a donation, they will be recognized on the donor recognition area within the main floor of the addition. Okay, we could. Of course, the purpose of this addition is to accommodate our 4K and our 5,000, our 15,000, excuse me, other students that we do environmental education programs for. We do a lot of field trips for the school district, both the Green Bay School District and all the surrounding school districts, as far away as Sheboygan and north. Also, Manhattan, and some other, schools come to us for our environmental education programs. We estimate we have about 400,000 visitors, and we do many special events also. We don't have a real space to accommodate our larger school groups. When they assemble, they're out stretched out the front door of the nature center, out into the drive. This addition would allow us to have a space that we'd be able to pull them in, and when you see the floor plans and things, I'll walk you through that. This is a partnership. The 4K is a partnership with the Green Bay Area Public Schools, the Wildlife Sanctuary, and of course the City of Green Bay, and the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay. It's called a Model 3. The school district has 3 different models. The Model 1 is where they do the programming at their own site, so their own schools. Model 2 is where they staff a facility and rent space somewhere. And a Model 3 is a real true partnership, where the school district provides the money through the per-student reimbursement that they get from the state every year. And the site hires the staff and runs the program. And the school district handles all the registrations and immunization records and all that sort of administrative end. They also provide ongoing teacher training for the teachers, so they can take part in district teacher training opportunities and other things. They'll provide specialties. So we've had some kids with speech needing speech therapy, and they've come out, and there we had a CP child that they send a special ed teacher out for, once a week. So it is a really nice partnership with the school district. This is the rendering of what the entranceway or upper level of the addition will look like. You can see the existing nature center off to the right. And so this addition will be to the east of the existing nature center. If you are familiar with the nature center, we have the little hillside, and the service path runs around to the back of the nature center. This would occupy in that area off to the east of the nature center. That's the rear view. There'll be 2 levels. That main floor that you just saw, where that main entrance, and then also a lower level, and that lower level will be where all the classrooms are for the 4K. Right now, we are filling that 4K. We're the first to fill in the Green Bay school system, and we have a waiting list that we can't accommodate every year. So this way, we'd add an extra classroom, and we'd be able to accommodate all the students who want to come. The nice thing with partnering with the school district is that it's a tuition-free program. So then all residents in the area who, and you don't have to be just Green Bay schools, they'll take, it's a choice program, so parents can opt in, and we've had kids from De Pere and Howard, Swamico, New Franken come also. Green Bay school system gets first choice, and they pay $40 activity fee. So it makes it affordable. These similar type programs around the country can range anywhere from, in Milwaukee, there's one that's over $2,000 a student for a half-day program. And there was one in Boston that was over $7,000. Chicago had a Montessori school that they were charging $14,000 per student. So one of our goals in establishing this was to make it available to all income levels and all, 4-year-olds in the Green Bay area. This is a floor plan for the upper level, or that main level. It's a large gathering space that could accommodate up to 200 people for large classes that we want to assemble. also for our special events that we do. There's a fireplace off to the, my left. There's a smaller room that's about 40, and there'll be an expandable wall between those two, so that if there's a smaller group that wants to meet, that's available. But we could expand that and have a capacity of about 120 also. One of the other features of this is that can be used as rental space and additional income for the generating for the wildlife sanctuary. So when it's not in school use, we could rent that space out for birthday parties, weddings, all sorts of activities, and other programming that the Park and Rec Department has. There's a kitchen, a caterer's kitchen associated with that, and that will also be available to be rented, both in conjunction with a program or a rental, or separately. There is a demand for certified kitchens right now in the area for people who sell things at farmers markets and other places, and they need a certified kitchen to produce their goods. That space could be rented separately. This is the lower level. We'll have, and then the classroom level, this is where the 4K will be. Right now it addresses a couple issues we have with our existing space for our 4K, and one of those is security issues. This will be separated from our public spaces so that we can provide adequate security for the students. The classrooms will have restrooms in them that are appropriately sized for 4-year-olds. So we don't have to have staff run them down the hall to go to the bathroom. They can just go right, within the confines of the classroom, and that'll keep more time available for teaching and instruction, and less staff required to handle the kids. There is a central area that's a common area. Again, there'll be movable walls between the classrooms, so we can, that space is very versatile. It can be all one big room when they all want to work together, or it actually we'd have space for a third classroom if we really had the demand. That center space also has a small kitchenette with one-way glass windows, and this is a lab school for UWGB. So they could test out some learning experiences on the 4-year-olds and observe how they interact with the materials they're given without being observed themselves and interfering with that interaction of the 4-year-olds. So right now we have the funds raised for this, and we're working with the Park Department and the Legal Department to define how we're going to proceed with the project.
Appreciate any questions from the director?
A few.
Sure. Alderman Johnson?
Thank you for sharing this, Mike. This is an exciting project, I think, for the city. When you say you have the funds for the project, are you 100% raised?
Yes.
And of course, this is me maybe getting caught up. Was that the expectation that you
Yeah,
guys
before we
funded?
move ahead, right, we'd have all the funds raised, yes.
Okay. And so when you look at, where is the actual site on the grounds? And forgive me if you said that
Yeah,
already.
yeah, if you're facing the nature center,
Mhm.
then it would be just off to your left, or to the east of the nature center. So
then-
you know where the outside amphitheater is?
Yep.
So it is just, if you're up at the top of the amphitheater, it'll be off to your right. So it's between the amphitheater and the nature
Okay,
center.
in that general vicinity, that's
Yeah.
what I was looking for. Okay, and then when you look at the space usage, what percentage of the time would you say the space is being used for 4K activities relative to what might be available for other outside services?
Well, that whole lower level will be dedicated to the 4K
All the
services. And yeah, so that'll be their exclusive use. The upper level will be our special events that we hold. Right now, we try to put them up in the main floor, which really isn't ideal, and it's cramped and crowded. So we have a number of special events we do. Large school groups that come in, we'll now be able to assemble them in there and do the programming there and not have them out the front door and, out into the roadway. And then in working with we've had this plan reviewed by the Visitor and Convention Bureau and others. They feel that it'll be a very rentable space and that it should be in high demand. So we're anticipating we'll be able to, get some good utilization out of that space.
So no weddings on the ground floor with bathrooms
No weddings,
appropriately
yeah.
sized for 4K?
Yeah, nobody's,
Right.
nobody's on the ground floor, yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Any other questions from the committee? Any other questions? All right. Appreciate it, Director.
Thank you.
Was a donor able to name it, or is it?
Well, yes, Mr. Resch.
It is.
We'll have the naming rights.
Okay.
Yeah, he finished off the campaign for us, and we'll have the naming rights.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderman Burnett to receive and place on file. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second item on here, informational is director report.
Yep, so, thank you. As you have seen, the weather is changing. I think we're in the clear for maybe progressing into spring and then summer. So, it was kind of a delay on a lot of our ball fields, and facilities, outdoor facilities should be starting to get available by this weekend. So there's been a lot of anxious soccer players and baseball and softball players out there, but we should be getting to the point where this weekend we can start to open up some of those facilities and be safe to play. We also, because the weather is now cooperating with us, we're continuing construction projects, and hopefully those are on the timeline still. It looks like things are hopeful to open when they should, like the new concession stand at Bay Beach and the train and all those items. Bay Beach does open starting May 5th, so a couple weekends we're going to be opening at Bay Beach, which is kind of crazy. Go from 2 feet of snow to opening Bay Beach. It's kind of fun. Speaking of wildlife sanctuary, I just wanted to note that our department has such a diverse array of programs, and I thought this was neat. Last Saturday they had over 200 astronomers stargazing from the wildlife sanctuary. So they were looking at planets and stars and stuff last Saturday night on a clear night. You go from week before to, like I said, 2 feet of snow to everybody's out there at night looking at the stars. It's kind of neat. Our softball leagues for our department will start next week, as long as the weather keeps cooperating with us. And you have in front of you tickets to the Bay Beach Dance, our annual Golden Memories Dance, where we bring back kind of that 30s, 40s, 50s style dancing to the pavilion at Bay Beach. So you're all invited to come out and enjoy that if you'd like. And I believe that's it for the nurse report. Any questions?
Questions for the director?
Motion to receive and place on
Second.
file.
Motion by Alderman Burnett, second by Alderman Nicholson to receive and place on file. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, number 3 is the next park committee, which is on a Wednesday, which I believe is on the mayor's state of the city. Right? He had asked if the committees are met that night to move it.
This is the discretion of the chairman,
Right?
so it's up to the chairman of Park and Rec when he wants the meeting.
I'm not opposed to moving it. We can have a discussion.
Discuss
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I know other meetings have this room booked at the different nights. And we can talk about that before.
Yeah. Sometime we'll touch base.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alderman Nicholson. Second by Alderman Burnett to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.